Show Intellectual Radio. I'm Tyrone Muhammad. Thank you for tuning in once again. This is the Frontline Show. Tyrone Muhammad. Live call-ins, people. 708-223-8953. That's 708-223-8953.
Oh, it's 708 number?
708, people. 223-8953. You got something to say you want to talk about?
Hey, man, I'm in Chicago, man.
We look forward to hearing your answers, concerns, questions, politics, religion. We here. Mike, man, it's been a very interesting week for us.
Yes, it has, man.
Out on the front line for the community, raising up the people consciousness, and just fighting for equity, inclusion, and opportunity. So my question to you now that you've been out here now doing this fight with me, what's your take, man, on just not necessarily the people, but just, it's, as we know, it's not about the people we fight for. We know our condition, but just in the corporate setting, those individuals that, seem to hoard all the resources. It's like, what I say, they lock us up and lock us out.
Right.
So what's your take on that?
I mean, it's the I call it the empire theory. I'm at the top, you at the bottom, and I want you to stay there. Period. It's so they insulated and we isolated. So they insulated in they big mansions and kingdoms at the top of their towers and corporations, and they insulated with all their money and power and success. And they play this game where it's like, it's not my fault that you're in the position that you're in, so I don't feel the need to help you. But in reality, it is your position to help us, because you have a responsibility when you amass all this wealth off the backs of the same people that you saying that I don't owe no responsibility to you. It's just like a few years back when McDonald's was selling, they always been selling hamburgers and that garbage, whatever that is.
Yeah.
But people sued them and for the trans fat that was in there, and they lost that.
The French fries to get that taste.
Yeah, because when you are into business and you selling the product, you have a responsibility to the public. So we at Amazon right now, we attacking a monopoly or whatever, and you selling to all these consumers, especially during COVID right now. But you have a responsibility to the very people that you consider consumers. So
to the very people. I guess the consumers make them billionaires.
Absolutely.
The very people who make you a billionaire.
Indeed. It's just like with athletes, how they tell you that the fans that's who you work for.
Yeah.
You have a responsibility.
I'm not a role model. Why wouldn't you be a role model if I'm buying your shoes?
Of course. So that's what, that's the empire theory. I'm at the top. My man, he said it best, man. I forgot my homie name. I think I forgot where I met him at, but he used to always say, all down, stay down. That was it.
And those who ain't down about to get down.
And that's the theory that they operate under, all down, stay down. And we out here fighting the giants, so it's a daunting task, but somebody got to do it. So those are my thoughts on that.
And being today, we was out at the Amazon. Our whole thing is accountability, right? Just holding these individuals accountable. It don't even take much.
Absolutely.
Just the response we get with our numbers and the guys that come to represent.
Absolutely.
And in truth, that whole block should be flooded
with people.
It should be flooded with people, bro. Just imagine if and when, because we're not stopping, we'll have a doggone torpedo kerosene heater out there blowing. I'm telling you, on the street.
Rain, sleet,
man, listen, bro. Listen, I'm just tired of the weakness of people.
Right.
They complain about the issues,
but don't want
to do nothing about it. It's like they'll complain about what's being done to them, what's happening, who's doing it, who, what, when, where, and why. But here's the solution. Get your butt up out the bed and stop complaining and get on the front line.
Absolutely. Only way you're gonna see change, you gotta be the change you want to see.
Be the
So
change you want to see.
we out there, they see what we saying, they see what we representing, and you have this conglomerate, which is Amazon, out here making multi-billions of dollars and trillions. I'm
Trillion
sorry,
dollar
I was just
company.
corrected. Trillions of dollars in revenue, and you have responsibility to the community that you garner all this money from. That's unacceptable. We can't allow that for you to just operate now. It's almost like kind of like for lack of a better metaphor or whatever. It's like a drug dealer. You selling in my neighborhood, but I ain't getting a cut or nothing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You Amazon
Right.
on
You
the
hear
block.
me? They the biggest
Amazon,
drug dealer.
Amazon on the block selling everything they want to sell, and they ain't cut you in. That's what my man said. What was Nino Brown? Cut me in or cut it out. So
if it's a dime bag being sold in the playground,
I want in on it.
I want in.
So you got this big company out here selling and pilfering out the community, looting and pilfering out the community, all this money, and we ain't getting no equity. We ain't on the construction sites, getting no jobs, no nothing. We just all all on the outs looking in. We got a call already.
Yeah, thank you, caller. Caller, name and where you calling from?
This is Lauren. I'm calling from the southwest suburbs.
Hey, how you doing, Sister Lauren?
Doing good. I'm doing good. I just want to call in and say thank you so much for the work that you're doing, being on the front lines, fighting consistently and putting the community first. Talking about it, being about it.
That's right. Listen, Lauren, thank you for calling in. You know your husband is still doing hard time in Stateville, right?
Mm-hmm.
You want to talk to the people about that and issues? How's it going in there with the brothers? I'm always on the phone with brothers in Stateville. My little brother is doing 85 years in Stateville, so he may know your husband. We're gonna figure out a way to link them up. You have met?
Yeah, I gave her a card one day.
Yeah.
Actually, she was selling coffee one day
at the
basketball
tournament.
Yeah,
She's a soldier. She on the front line, man, fighting for her husband, rights and everything, man. And I appreciate you for that. But go ahead, sister. Go ahead and take a few minutes and talk to the people about the issues that you're dealing with and what you see. And I'm still waiting on you to come to the center and be a part of these women who have incarcerated family members, so that you can, help us build out that program. Go ahead.
I sure will. I've just been working with a lot of organizations, trying to do everything what I can to be helpful, to just learn, to grow, just learning community organization things. And right now, I'm just been working with a group to get some legislation passed to where we would have parole in Illinois, because we don't have that. Basically saying that somebody who has already done 20 years would have the chance just to actually see the parole board. And then, of course, there would be guidelines as far as education, that person's background, their behavior, to at least attempt to give these people the opportunity to be back in society. So that is just like at the baby stages. And now that COVID and everything is slowing down, all of the legislation has been stopped, I think, until January. So it's just an issue, and it doesn't get out enough what's going on. I think about today, Hurricane Katrina, and when that happened, and how it just tore me up on the inside, because seeing it and all the bodies and the trauma and the hurt and the lives lost. I think about right now, COVID in prisons. Are we going to look back on this in 4 or 5 years and say all those lives that were lost because nobody thought enough of human beings? Nobody could see their own humanity outside of whatever crimes they might have committed. Most of the times probably wrongfully convicted. But I digress. And so now they're not reporting the numbers. People in there dying. The COs are tired of it. I hear complaints from COs all the time.
Right. Have they started? Did they ever start back allowing y'all to go in and visit the loved one?
Oh no, they do that. They don't allow that. I'm going to be completely frank with you, because what's going to happen is going to happen, and the law knows that. They do that to inhibit families from being connected, from people getting the information, understanding and knowing what's going
100%.
on. They slow down commissary. They play a game with that every other week and month or whatever that game is. They make sure that their tablets and phones are barely working. That's $1 million contract right there that GTL has and Securus, but they can't even make sure there's enough phones in each cell house. They can't make sure the equipment is up to par. So when people are trying to look at their children, their wives, their mothers, their loved ones on a video call, they don't have those issues. And for the money that the family is putting out and that they're taking in from the state, and they're probably getting paid however which way, but it's ridiculous. And so right now during Corona, not getting a lot of sunlight, not getting your commissary, they're not getting the services that they need. There was one wife that told me her husband's down in Dixon. He has actually tested positive for COVID, and all they're doing for him is giving him Tylenol. So, and we
Tylenol. Hey, you see how we laughing? We not laughing because that's funny, but we laughing because that's sad. That every even with us, we just looked at each other and like Tylenol. See, I got the flu, Tylenol. I just pulled the groin and I got a hernia.
Broke my
Tylenol.
neck.
I just broke my neck. I just got stabbed up. Tylenol.
And it COVID just further exacerbates the issues, especially as far as the state bill. Look how old the facility is. They've had all the issues, all the lawsuits, all the information is there to show that it's dilapidated. It's to show that the conditions there are inhumane. It's cruel and it's inhumane.
Well, see,
I will.
Oh, please! I hear you. Listen. I only wish I had somebody that was just as concerned as you are about your loved one when I was incarcerated. So please, you should. I know what it is. I know what you feeling. That is serious. I'm telling you, it's serious in there. The business and you advocating. So we out here with you. I'm on the front line fighting for the prisoners, and you are too. And there's hundreds of others who understand what you're going through and what you do. But we have to sit down, meet, and talk about how to bring real systematic change to that system.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's up to all of us. Like you said, it's gonna take us to save us. So my brother, he's been incarcerated.
They calling in on you. So let me get this next call, sister. Thank you. I appreciate your call.
Have a good one.
You too. Yes, caller, name and where you from?
It's MBK Hardcore Chris, man.
Pardon me, you got background noise. What was that again?
This MBK Chris, man, from Chicago.
Oh, what's that? MBK Chris. What's up? You can't rap?
Yeah, so I rap. How you doing, Mr. Muhammad?
I'm all right, soldier. How you feel?
Brothers, man, how y'all today?
Good.
We all right, man. What's on your mind?
I'm blessed. Take care of my business. Man, I just was calling to support your line, man, because I knew you keep positive things, the community going, and I can't be out there with you right now. So I figured one way to support you was to call in.
Man, appreciate it, man. You know what it is and what we about. It's gonna take us to save us, and if we don't get at the issues that's in our community, who are we expecting to do it?
Exactly.
All right, I mean, anything else you want to say to the people before we hang up?
No, I wanna say, man, for anybody that's in the Chicago area, the distant area, got family and friends, man, y'all stay close to y'all people, man, and keep focused out there. It's a rough time for people out here. So I want everybody, that's listening to me, man, stay focused and not give up. Because I know it's a tough trial period for Black people out here. So, I wish the best for all y'all.
All right. Thank you, brother, for calling in. All right. So, Mike, sister, husband doing time, it's like 20 years or more, right? Mm-hmm. The parole board, need to be looked at. What I mean by that is every individual that does time, in my opinion, are just that, an individual. We need a board to assess. So say, for instance, if I serve 10 years, or if I serve 15 years, we need a board that assesses every man's mental, physical, spiritual, socially, emotional competence to see whether or not that person, because a lot of the time is overtime.
Absolutely.
It's overkill.
Absolutely.
I was done after 2 years in prison.
Absolutely.
I didn't have to do 21.
Absolutely.
What I'm saying by that, people, so you all don't misunderstand us, get it twisted, what we're talking about. It's like some guys come through there just needed a smack on the hand, where other guys come through there need to be kicked in the stomach. And other guys may need to get hit in the head with a bat.
Absolutely.
What I'm saying, there's stages of punishment that, although the crime may be the same, the maturity of the individuals that you incarcerated is not. Plus, furthermore, we already know that the crimes that's committed are us committing crimes mostly against one another. So the people who legislate on crime and pass bills and policies ain't really necessarily locking our sons and daughters up forever because we did something to them.
Right.
If you did something to me and I forgive you, then the legislation shouldn't be able to tell you, in my opinion, a legislation shouldn't be able to say, hey, man, he should be punished this much for hurting you. I'm saying, no, that's too much time. You don't give him that when, in fact, I've overcome whatever issue this young man has done to me at 16. He's now 45 and 50
Absolutely.
and 60, and you still got him doing time for something he did at 16. So what say you?
Well, first of all, I understand that whole thing about parole and everything, because I dealt with that personally and dealt with dealing with it in prison. I know that that's going to be a very, very hard battle for us because it's about dollars. And if it don't make dollars, it don't make sense to them. So at the end of the day, what we represent to them is dollars. So if I do 20 years, each year $40,000, that's an $800,000 ticket. So if I'm looking at $800,000 versus my morality and the fact that this individual may have changed and may have done some things, the behavior modifications, took care of himself while he was in prison and got better, they don't care.
But
why would they care?
Right.
Because
we don't care.
Because no, it's that we care. Because these issues been on the table for years since I've been in prison. But at the same time, they know it. They know the stats about recidivism. They know all of these things. They know the things about being able to change, being capable of change. But at the end of the day, these institutions are built in areas that it promote income for them. They profit off this. Some areas, these prisons, and you never heard of in Illinois, but it sustains that community. Most of them be white communities as they are, but we represent for them a paycheck. You got lieutenants and majors and captains and all. We don't have captains no more, but all these people making $70,000, $80,000 a year. And then they create jobs on top of that where you got deputy directors, assistant deputy directors. All these people get checks off our bodies.
Five wardens in one prison.
5 wardens in one prison. And all these majors. Who you the major of? Who you lieutenant of? We not in the army. Who you the sergeant of? These are regular civilians, and we are prisoners basically controlled by the walls that surround us. And we govern by, the gates and the fences that's up around us and the towers with the guards with the guns up there. So what do you need all these people for to guard people that's pretty much already guarding themselves in such a way? So what we represent to them is a dollar sign. So them letting us go early or filtering us out the system early, for them, it will lose their capacity. Yeah. They have to fill beds up. So we got 27 to 30 prisons. If you lower capacity, some of these prisons they know that. So instead of doing the right thing and letting some people go that don't need to be, they overkill us. They keep you in because they gotta have your body. They need that. They need to take up that space to get that tax check they get every year in the fiscal year in July. They're gonna get a check for each one of our bodies. So the more people you have, the more money you make.
And we counted in the local economy, the census.
Absolutely. In their area to boost up their population when they don't have that many people. A lot of towns, we if not more than the population in the town. So why would they? In my estimation, I look at it like that. Like if you're looking at it from a dollars and cents perspective, they look at it like shit. You a dollar sign to me. I don't care about your life. You represent $1 million. Me and you both did 20 years. That's $1.6 million. You think the people gonna let us go? If somebody had you, if you had somebody and somebody came and say, man, if you keep this person, I'll give you $1.5 million. With your integrity, I know you're not gonna do it, Ty.
I wouldn't do it. No.
The average person, if you tell me keep this person for $1.5 million, they gonna do what? They gonna do it.
Tied up in the basement.
And
feed you minimum food.
Absolutely. And that's what it is. The money is allotted towards for our well-being, but they gonna minimize and chop that up and make sure you get as minimal. That's what we just talked about, the Tylenol. That's where that comes into play at, because they don't want to take care of your health, because healthcare costs. Even in prison, it costs to take care of somebody. So they're gonna cut corners and do what they need to do to get them checks, man. That's an uphill battle for us. Something that it's gonna take. When you talk about fighting a battle from the outside in, from us being out here and the people like Lauren that just called in with battles and issues, it's gonna have to get fought from within. Remember when we was in Dixon, 05, and we did that. What we had, we gonna stop commissary. Yeah. We stopped going to commissary.
Right.
And that's what it's gonna take, something like that from the inside, where the guys say to themselves, "Todd, you got to fight that battle from the inside out." Once the prisoners say, "I'm done. I'm not going to work. I'm not doing this. I'm not going to school. I'm not doing anything. Y'all gonna get us what we need in here." Then it's gonna be some reparations happening. But until then, we fighting the uphill battle with that. I'm gonna keep it real with everybody out here. That's a tough one.
Well, I got to take on it once we come back from break. You listen, people, come on back. We're going to take a quick break. You listen to the Frontline show on Intellectual Radio, powered by ECCSC. Come on back. We're back. Frontline show. I got my guest, Michael, co-host, guest, brother, friend, comrade. This is Intellectual Radio, powered by ECCSC. Mike, my take on the last conversation is just like we came home and got on our business. Mm-hmm. I'm a firm believer that you got over 2 million. I think it's like 12 to 13 million Illinoisans in this state. I think it's something like that, 12 to 15 million.
Easily.
If we came together as formerly incarcerated men, I'm thinking we like 2 million or more. Somebody that done had a brush with the law or been incarcerated or have family members that's incarcerated, that's the biggest voting block and power move. Because crazy, every politician run on reducing recidivism, prison reform, social justice. And in light of this George Floyd thing, everybody want to have a so-called caring heart for the black man. So that if we really, brothers that spent that time actually lined up with women who fight for that, really at the end of the day, it's not men fighting for the rights like the women do. Yeah. It's sisters like Sister Lauren that's fighting. They spending their money traveling to see loved ones. They're spending their money on commissary. They're spending their money on vending machine, gas, phone calls. In some cases, they spending their money burying their husbands and loved ones, because we get a lot of people going home in body bags before their time is up. Indeed. So with that being said, if we actually lined up behind women like that, and I think they listen to them more than they do us because we've been duly convicted. Mm-hmm. I think that has more relevance, it resonates more because people kind of insensitive about us. Absolutely. In the time we spend. I hear so much sarcasm. Absolutely. From my own household, right. As it relates to incarceration and what that looks like. Right. So I'm saying to you that I think we can do it if we mobilize and organize in the right way and start picking up traction. Then you'll see elected officials, because it's about numbers and votes. Absolutely. And then we demand real human or even if we go to the UN, even if we make noise and get it properly addressed about the human rights violation that is the prison industrial complex. Right. We got to just make enough noise on our end, and hopefully we can find those persons that think about it the way we think about it.
Right. I agree with you 100%, man. It's going, your motto or our motto, it's going to take us to save us. And at the end of the day, we have a powerful voting bloc. Easily, I believe it's 12 to maybe 15 million people in this state alone that's either been on parole, probation, incarcerated, felony. On some level, you have some brush with the law. And if you fall into that category, you still own your voting rights if you out here. So and we deal with a lot of people that's formerly incarcerated on our own, just hundreds and hundreds of people that we can galvanize just through me and you, yeah, and just who we know. Yeah. So just imagine the one begets another, and we all just pool together and become like a source within ourselves, and that's a big thing, bro. I'm following you on that.
We are family, we are brothers, we call it our alumni. I often say we just did 2 decades in college.
There it is.
And I don't think you're gonna get if you apply yourself, you're not gonna get a better education.
Absolutely.
Because you see every type of man in the walk of life, every manner of evil, every manner of good, because you got some good brothers in there, man. Absolutely. That made a mistake. Clearly. And they actually got their stuff together.
Smartest.
You just giving them too much. How you give somebody, listen, bro, how you take on a system, right, that sole purpose is to marginalize an already disenfranchised, disinvested people. It's like men and the time we're living in where the system hasn't been fair to us. This country, this world hasn't been fair to us. And then here we are, even with us, as formerly incarcerated men who come out and make a difference for our community. You would think that we would be the poster child for this is what reformation looks like.
Right.
This is what we expect brothers to come out of prison to do. So let's get behind that, support that. Let's build a movement around that. But people silent. They don't even throw up a thumbs up.
Right.
Let no $5. So let's see who we have. Caller, state your name and your where you from. What up, Chuck?
What's up, man?
What's up, man?
Ty Dilla, man, I want to say, man, I can appreciate what you're doing, man. Keep up the good work.
Chuck, I ain't Ty Dilla no more.
I'll always be Ty Dilla to me. I don't care how many lives you save. Keep on saving lives, Ty.
Hey, man. Thank you, Chuck. Thank you. You got anything else you want to say, Chuck?
I see that y'all staying focused on the prison reform, but we need to touch out to these youngsters, man. We need to touch out to these youngsters.
And we're going to touch out and tell them what? Your mic went off, Chuck. Chuck, we can't.
We need to start at an early age with these youngsters, man.
No question.
These youngsters are lost.
No doubt. We lost them.
We didn't lose them. They lost.
We lost them.
Well, we need to find them again.
That's it right there.
They lost, but we need to find them because they in need of us. If not, the cycle just gonna keep on going.
Yes, sir. All right, man. Thank you for calling in. We appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I think the man got a point. You know, I mean, we always knew that, but he definitely got a point, you know, on the way to look at it. You know, the system gonna always be the system, but we do got to save our children out here. So I do believe the man got a point. That's your friend Chuck, right?
Chuck, I don't know him. I don't know him. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, he right. It's the youngsters. That's what we doing. We you know, our main motto is everything program. We do in our program is about the kids, the young men, getting them what they need so that they can be great men and fathers and husbands and men. As we, you know, I learned a lot from them. What we did. I mean, we in the streets, and if you're not listening to them, this is their generation. A lot of us don't work for this country. I mean, we don't work for our communities. What shall I say? We don't actually put back in it. So we judge them and what they're doing in it. Wow. We're not putting in it, but judging them on what they're doing in it. Absolutely. It's like, come on, man. How you got anything to say if each one is not teaching one? You're not grabbing. You can't say as a man, right. I got 3 young men I'm mentoring, or 1 young man I'm mentoring. Outside of your own family, then you probably shouldn't say nothing about what they're doing, right? Because you have to be the message you bring, and you gotta. It's like I have like 70 to 80 people that I talk to, like in the course of a month, of young people that I mentor. If I could take 80, you could take 1. Exactly. Yeah, what you say about that, man? I mean, you know, our program and what you've seen with a lot of the brothers and what they're saying.
I mean, a lot of them looking for, like, I was watching the interview. I don't know if I was at home. I always be on YouTube just looking at interviews and stuff. And Lil Durk said we don't got no leadership out here in Chicago.
I saw that,
and I believe that. But like you always say, we don't have nothing for them, and it's a twofold. So as you often have to give back to the generation behind you, they also have to be willing to listen. Like it has to be some reciprocity in that relationship. But the thing of it is, like you always, you hammer this home all the time, is the fact that if you don't have nothing for these kids, they ain't trying to hear nothing you trying to say no way. As a matter of fact, the funny thing is, it is a twofold, but because I remember in my generation when I was growing up, I loved the wisdom of the older guys, and now they don't want to hear it now. So it's like, if you don't got nothing for them, or you can't, or they feel like they doing better than you, there's like they trying to tell you something.
Right. How can I, you gonna tell me, You gonna tell me to pull my brand new Gucci pants up,
right?
But your pants dirty,
right?
So it's like,
Real
it's like you
Real
got
talk.
dirty pants or
Right.
old pants. In their mind, they caught up in
Period.
style
Period.
and fashion, right?
Man.
So how I'm gonna listen to you or you a bum?
Yeah.
They don't understand that even a bum can teach them not to be a bum.
Exactly.
But until
Indeed.
but they have to be able to equate
Mhm.
that, you know,
Chip,
it's hard.
Our elder statesman there, he has a lot of redundancy in what he says, but his delivery is just off. He said it often, like when he always said it. He said it a million times, but the kids don't grasp what he's saying. He say exactly what you just said. Like when I was growing up, the pimps and the dope fiends told me, "Don't do this.
Right.
This not right. Take your little ass to school."
Right.
You know, and like you just said right now, it's a reverse psychology right now. They look at you and say, you a goofy, or you a dope fiend. What is you trying to? How you gonna tell me anything? So it's a whole reverse psychology out here going on. It's a way different vibe out here. It's the parents
And
thing.
you know what I'm finding?
It's way different.
Yeah, the parents are kids themselves. And you know what I'm finding? Yeah, I mean, I've actually seen mothers party with their daughters. And they both in the camera like this here,
Right.
seeing who can twerk.
Right.
Now this is for real.
Yeah.
That's a parent.
Yeah, that's an ideology though. I've heard that the concept behind that is if they gonna do it anyway, or why not be a friend to them or aid them? Because I heard people say that all the time. Like my mother would not ever allow me to smoke weed or just create a situation for me to just do it in the basement and be like, hey, I'd rather you do it down there than be out there. And that's the concept a lot of mothers got out here now. It may make sense on some levels, but on other levels, I think that I wouldn't parent my children like that. I wouldn't say to them, because at the end of the day, you're still saying it's okay. I'm letting you know you shouldn't be doing this. You know, I'm not going to encourage anything.
Because there's going to come a time where you may have to tell them about morals and ethics and values, and they look at you like, please,
absolutely,
we just
right.
the joint.
Right.
Please,
right.
we just shook our butt together
right.
and we're chasing the same.
Right,
group.
You lose all respect for
So, I mean, at some point, but you know, I was just thinking like, they always used to say, I've heard pastors, I've heard wise folks say, the dead should inform the living.
Mm-hmm.
So when you see people in a casket, that means something has happened to them.
Right.
Tragedy, disease, whatever the case may be.
Mm-hmm.
But in our case, with our young folks, we see so many of them in a casket as a result of being gunshot victims. And it's like, what is that dead body? What is that telling you, and how do that speaks to them?
Right.
Before, when we was growing up, that gave us a sense of somber and to think about, man, what the hell we going want this. I need to change my life.
Right.
Oftentimes for a lot of them, it's like, I'm gonna retaliate.
Right.
What happened? How did that happen? And they never really get to see the error sometimes of their ways before it's too late, because they dying so young.
Absolutely.
And they're never getting a chance to grow out of the immaturity. Absolutely. See, I don't judge them because I know it's immaturity.
Absolutely.
But it's so deadly. The immaturity that they're going through is so deadly that they may never get a chance to do 20 years and come out better men, positioning ourselves to be better leaders and fathers for our community and our families.
It's a psychosis. It's facilitated by the drugs that they do, the music that they listen to, the way in which they see celebrities and these rappers out here with, you know, tattoos and this and that, and the way they get money and the way they highlight or glorify getting money. So you got this big psychosis out here going on, and the kids, they don't really have nothing to run to. They don't really have nothing to like breathe on and say, this is what I want to aspire to be. So in my generation, you didn't see a lot of kids doing weed and doing drugs and doing things they ain't had no business doing. We were kids just being kids. We were playing basketball, maybe chasing girls. now it's so much information out here on these phones, and it's so much sex and
They distract
on the TV screen. Not to against homosexuality, anything like that, or it's even violence. They remember the airways used to kind of limit a lot of that stuff. They don't care no more. They just putting all
even
type
when it
of
was young, you wouldn't see two men or two women kissing
yeah.
on television.
You putting all
That'd
type
be
of,
like that's your personal thing, right?
right.
Yeah.
It's just out here now. So you can only imagine, it's harder probably to raise kids now than it was, 30, 40 years ago in that generation. It's like, it's crazy out here now. They doing all type of illicit drugs now. Molly and doing God knows what with. I don't even want to repeat it. Y'all know what y'all do with that stuff.
Hello, caller. State your name and location.
All right. My name is Jamila Taylor, a.k.a. J-Mo. Location, I'm rolling right now in Calumet City.
What up, Jamila? I mean, my bad.
There you go, man.
My man, Jamila. Oh, is it different when you say Jamila? That's the feminine, and Jamila is the male.
It's the masculine. That's the masculine.
How do they know the difference?
Huh?
How do people know the difference when they see the word?
Well, it's all in the spelling.
Hi, brother. How you doing, son? How you doing, brother? I'm just messing with you. Thanks for calling in, brother.
All right, hey. Now look, I came in on the tail end of it because y'all was hitting a bunch of good topics there. Especially in the beginning when y'all was talking about how the general public view us, and sometimes how even our family, it's like it's a big motto that we have when we come home. That's it's bananas. Really, in all honesty, it may be maybe 2% that might fit them shoes that they try to put us in. But the thing is, like when we reference prison as college, right? Because a lot of us studied in college when we was there, and we learned. And one or two things can happen when you go to prison. Either you learn how to be a better criminal, or you're gonna learn how to conduct yourself in an entire different way.
Yes, sir.
In society.
Yes, sir.
And the thing is that what the general public fail to realize is that prison is a society within a society. You have the society out here, and then you have the society that's in there. And societal norms out here don't apply to the society norms in there. And the thing is that we educated ourselves, and each other. Don't let me forget that, each other. Because there was plenty of times when I didn't know how to do something, I would go to the other brothers, and ask them for help. Rest in peace. I can't remember the brother's name.
Skeet.
But anyway, when I remember his name, but the brother used to help me with algebra. I hated algebra coming up, But the thing is, we taught each other. We learned from each other, and we learned from the educational system that was allowed it to us at that time, because they took away a lot of things from us. Once they said, "Oh man, hold on, these guys are getting associate's degrees. These guys are getting master's degrees, and my son and my daughter, I got to pay for it."
Hey, check that out, right? You gonna take the master's degrees and the bachelor's degrees from us. When you say education is one of the they have proven that education is one of the top ways to reduce recidivism, but they take education out of higher learning out of the schools. Man, that's amazing.
Right. And not only that, but here it is. What is the phrase that's coined? When you know better, you do better. So here it is. Mm-hmm. When we're sitting up there trying to learn better and do better, you want to take that away from us. That's crazy. To tap in on what Mike was saying, what you and Mike was saying about the younger generation, right? One of the things that the elder statesmen always seem to do is try to talk at the shorties. Nah, don't talk at them. You know what I'm saying? Humble yourself and talk with them. But it keys back on to, if we don't have nothing to give them, keep your damn mouth shut.
That's right.
And one thing, Ty, that you've always done, that I've done, and that Mike done, and a lot of other brothers done, is that with the shorties in prison, we would always humble corral ourselves and come to the level on them to understand what's going on. Why is it that y'all doing what y'all doing out there? You know what I'm saying? Well, if we had certain things, what could we do? You know what I'm saying? As us as men, help y'all. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
that's
sir.
one thing that you've always done is always came to the level with these shorties, and that's why them shorties love you and respect you.
Yes, sir, brother. So I appreciate you. You make sure you be at your Thursday, your Friday manhood circle. We looking for you.
Most definitely. I'm gonna make sure I clear up that schedule to be there this time, bro.
And bring somebody with you.
Odd job. Oh, most definitely. Most definitely, brother.
All right, brother. Thank you for calling in.
All right.
See, humility when dealing with that. Hey, Mike, you know me. And I'm pretty much the same way with everybody, pretty much, that I meet. You saw it in prison. I was no enemy to nobody, not the police. Even though I stood on the police, I had a relationship. They understood the limitation. It was a respect level. And it's like no judgment relates to us. And talking about our condition and helping us and serving us. Because all of us coming at it, this thing, it's put like this. No one in life has all the answers, bro.
No doubt.
Especially when we in a system fighting to get out. We fighting to get out of a system that we didn't even create.
Mm-hmm.
It's like society created prisons. Prisons didn't create society.
Right.
And it's almost like people look at us coming out of prison as though it's something foreign to society. They think if we didn't know no better, if I didn't know no better, I would think prisoners created society. Right. The conditions, the ills in society informs the subjects of prison. Absolutely. So when them shorties would come in, they telling us, they help prepare us and help prepare me to say, hey, ECCSC has to be for real, because I got tired of seeing them coming from society, untrained, unlearned, undisciplined. And we say, hey, bro, it got to be us, because it's clear that society don't care about them coming in and don't care about us going out.
Absolutely. Well, I'm going to give you a sports metaphor, right? We talked about education, and I would say this, like a NFL, you got a football receiver, right? In life, you want to be a receiver, meaning that you want to receive education and you want to be able to obtain knowledge and you want to be able to get things.
Right.
The best wide receivers have the largest catch radius, meaning that outside their structure, they have the ability to catch the ball. That's what education does for me.
Yes.
Well, I'm a better receiver because my radius is everywhere. I have a better catch radius, as they say. So the better receivers, they good because they can go outside their range and catch the ball. So that's what education helps you with. Education helps you go outside yourself, and that's what your radius is. My radius allows me to go into different ethnic groups, into different ages, to talk to the shorties. So a lot of times when you fail to heed education and put something on your brain, you limit yourself, and that's what it boils down to. Like you was able to say, you able to reach a lot of people, Ty, because you have a big radius.
Yeah.
So you can go and talk to white men, you can go to talk to women, you can go talk to children, you can go talk to the uneducated
and dogs.
We got
I always say I'll be cheating
Ty
on cream.
Ty got a little fluff G, a little baby gangster.
Hey y'all, hey, all the cream Facebook friends out there, Puppy Son, he's talking about y'all puppy son, calling him Fluffy G.
Hey, Fluff G just cute, man. He ain't no killer, but he cute. So he a killer with cuteness. That's what he goes.
At least they can recover from that.
There it is. But I often say, man, education is what brought me to where I am today. It allowed me to become the man that I am today. And I tell anybody any day of the week, it'll be hard for you like chess is our favorite game, and I mean,
Man, we got to get some games. This don't even feel right. I haven't been.
You've been playing chess at just a different level.
Yeah, on another level.
You've been playing with people. You know
I
what
told
I'm
some
life
guys
is a game
that,
of chess, man.
Man, you still playing chess? I say, bro, I'm moving real
pieces for real.
This time plastic, old fake pieces. This piece, if you make the wrong move, you dead.
Absolutely. And I remember in that, man, we used to play. I could play chess from the time I came out my cell to 9:30 at night, 12, 13 hours straight. The only thing you would stop for was to eat.
Lock up.
Right. Yeah, you're gonna lock up. But that game to me is so mental, and it's so therapeutic for me because it's a thinker's game. You know, you have to think your way out of situations. You gotta learn how to
make
attack.
The wrong move.
Oh yeah,
you beat yourself up talking about, man.
If you good.
Why did I do that?
Absolutely.
Why did I make that mistake?
That's a life lesson too. The best of us do that. The best of us, we don't mull over our mistakes, but we say to ourselves, I done said this on the chessboard so many, I never let that happen again. I never let you do me like that again. Yeah. That's what wisdom is. You know, I told Doc that quote where I say, smart men learn from their own mistakes, wise men learn from the mistakes of others. And what that means is the wisest of us can look at something someone else did and say, I ain't doing that. But most of us are smart, and we have to do something that we ain't supposed to do and say, from that experience, I ain't doing that again. But the wise people out here, ladies and gentlemen, can look at someone else's behavior or something that they doing positive, whether it be inspirational or whatever, and say, I want to learn from that.
Do it or not do it.
Do it or not do it. You shouldn't always have to put your hand on the fire to recognize that it's hot. So that's something that you should often take into consideration. Don't always have to, for the kids out here especially, don't always have to bump your head and go through something to be great. You know, we had to go through something to be great, but you don't have to though. You don't have to go to jail and
trust me, you don't want to.
You don't want to go there. You know, if you can go to school, they got regular college out here with real girls in it. the college we went to, ain't no girls there, man. You know, so
spread, man. And they not jumping off the paper.
Man, ain't no women in there, you know. So I'm done. I ain't gonna say that.
So listen, people. Hopefully those that are listening, we encourage you. We invite you when you see us out there serving the community. We invite you to get involved. We invite you to be a part of ECCSC. That's ECCSC.org if you don't know. And we have a manhood circle, brothers, sisters. Send y'all man to the manhood circle. We have a manhood circle every Friday at 12 o'clock at 610 West Root Street. That's ROOT. I'm always being criticized about my country grammar. Right. Nelly made a lot of money off country grammar.
Hey, let me tell you what, this is something Steve Harvey always say.
What
he say people talk about his grammar. And then he said one day he was on he always tell people, would you want to say I am poor or would you say I's rich?
I is rich.
I am poor. That's grammatically correct, but I would rather say I's rich.
That's real, bro. But yeah, that's 610 West Root Street. We's have a manhood circle going on every Thursday at Friday. Sorry, at 12 o'clock.
And
that's Friday at 12 o'clock. So make sure if you can, especially the brothers, come on out and we building with a lot of our little homies and they getting great toolage and information from what we're doing, and plus we're learning from them. It's Absolutely. Not us teaching them. I'm mostly into, Mike or somebody call and go in a circle, be quiet, listening to them, because really they will inform you as to what you could give them.
Absolutely.
And most of the time, they just want us to stop being condescending and judgmental.
Yep.
And if we could do that and work on that, that's another thing. And as far as the questions I received as when we going back out to Amazon, and a lot of people was talking about the demonstration. I don't like to call it a protest. I say we demonstrate our disagreements. We demonstrate our grievances. We demonstrate the issues that our community is facing with these big multi-corporate conglomerates that suck up our community resources and give really nothing back in return, bro. They may say they giving jobs. Right. This is something that's projected.
Right.
We talking about what you doing right now. They building billions of dollars worth of structure. I'm talking about 30 and 40 and 50 billion dollars worth of structures.
But it's not a livable wage though.
But I'm talking about just even the construction aspect, right, that they'll be building for a few years.
I know.
But yet we're not on those sites. We're not even 3% of those sites of men who from Indiana, Wisconsin, and the surrounding areas, bro, while we sit in the city of Chicago and the surrounding suburbs, south suburbs, and kill one another. Absolutely. Over nothing.
Wait on that Amazon job for $15 an hour. That's not a livable wage, man. We know how hard it is out here. $15 an hour ain't gonna get you there.
It's not gonna serve up. And although, and this is the thing we've been doing, people, and we've been holding our elected officials accountable. We're letting them know that you've sold out pretty much. Didn't give away our TIF dollars. You gave away all the funding.
Right.
You got all these structures, as I say. You build warehouses of prisons down the state of Illinois. They did that before, to capture and incarcerate black men and boys and women. Then you building structures to be hubs for us to consume products.
Right.
And you lock us out.
Absolutely.
So you lock us up, then you lock us out of opportunities.
And then tell you, oh, you can have this little $15 an hour job on the back end.
But even that still don't serve our community.
Definitely don't.
That's only so many
that's what they
jobs.
Gonna say.
That's what they're going to say. Jobs. The biggest and best job would be to allow us and teach us, to give us resources, so that we could build businesses within our community and hire. It's 75 to 85% of all employment are small business.
Absolutely.
Small business, 85% from my last study. If I'm wrong, y'all let me know. Check it out. It's from small business.
Yeah, it's only a few Fortune 500.
Yeah, that serves maybe 14, 15, 20% of the population in terms of employment. But the small mom and pop, and that's one thing Amazon is poised to do.
Absolutely.
Eat up
everything.
These small conglomerates.
They want to have these hubs so they can deliver. They can walk it to you.
They can deliver
order from Amazon. It's gonna be here within 5 minutes.
So the look like a piece. That was doing the distribution. So even the distribution space I want to build out on 79th that we're building out, that allows us to be able to distribute product. You saying stuff like that that's not really a big issue.
Amazon want to be like a pizza delivery. We be in 30 minutes. We be 30.
Be there at 30. You got your checkbook ready?
Simple. That's why they want all these hubs, because it gets you your product faster. They want you to, they literally thinking about doing it with drones, but the regulations for the air, I forgot what that's called, but the airways don't allow it right now. So they like, well, we gonna build them in your backyard. We got a job for you though. It's not livable wage. You ain't on the website. We gonna keep that amongst ourselves, and we can have your product there for you in 10 minutes though. like Chinese food or something, man.
People, we laughing,
but it's
real. We not just out on the front line fighting for ourselves. We're bringing these issues forward because just in case you were asleep, we letting you know. Wake the hell up.
Yeah. Amazon gonna be a convenience store.
Amazon is a condor.
Yeah, it's gonna be a convenience
store. Y'all know
what
condor does? Y'all know what a condor does? People, Condor, Project Condor. Look it up. Project Condor, Amazon. Check it out, please. Look it up. Google it. And then a condor eats dead flesh. A condor is a big bird vulture.
Eat anything.
He eat dead flesh. You people out there listening, we have become the carcass the carcass. Let me say it. Let me get my English grammar.
Enunciate, brother. Enunciate.
The carcass. You are carcass. Carcass is something that's no longer living, something that is dead, has no life, and that is decaying, and what else is called? Corroding. And the condor will come in and eat you. And that's what Amazon is essentially becoming, this huge monopoly. The only monopoly, no, I'm going to say the biggest monopoly in America right now.
Easily.
And with that being said, people, I'm going to get ready to shut it down and pontificated enough about this condor. We'll be back on them. We're not stopping.
No doubt. Keep knocking on their door.
You are tuned in to Intellectual Radio. This is the Frontline Show. And please, please, please tell somebody to tune in next week. Thank you.
It's going to take us to save us.
It's going to take us to save us.